Okay, I'm Clyde Gaskins. I'd like to thank Sunrise Podcast Network for having me today. And we're in the Snack Attack studio, as you can see here. And we have a special guest star today. His name is Engel.
Hello, Clyde. Thanks for having me. Awesome. Wow.
For those who don't know a lot about Ari, I'm going to let you know a few things about him. He travels the circuit events for the WSOP, and he's the all-time leader with 18 rings. And you know what that means? He's got more rings than Tom Brady. He's got more rings you can find inside of a jewelry store. That's how many rings this man has. Plus, he's got a bracelets. This guy plays everything, and it's great to have you here today.
It's awesome to be here, and I'm honored that you would choose me to have as a guest. Everyone loves Clyde in the poker world, so it's cool to be here.
Well, you know, I got to meet you, I'd say 2 or 3 years ago?
Yeah, that sounds right.
I mean, we play in a WPT, in the mixed events a lot. I mean, I play everything. But I noticed whether we cash or not, we're always going deep in them events. So what's your secret for that?
I play a lot, so there's quite a few of them that don't end up with going deep. There's a lot that do, but my secret is just playing tons, so enough of them come through with the deep runs.
And it just comes natural, doesn't it? I mean, you play so often.
Yeah, I've studied and practiced and tried and thought about the game throughout the years. But yeah, I got pretty lucky to have some sort of knack for poker.
What got you into poker at the beginning?
My roommate in college, his name is Andrew Brown, Brown Dog Online. He's a bracelet winner. And we were roommates, and he would just play online poker all the time. He was a very good poker player, not a good student. I was trying to be a good student at the time. But I for like a couple of months, I just watched him play. I had no money. I graduated college with 6 figures in college debt. So I think I had 100 or 200 bucks in my bank account and minus minus 100K or whatever. But eventually I would start playing for pennies online, like literally like win 10 cents, lose 7 cents kind of thing. And I was playing a fair amount during college. I did graduate, but I couldn't find a good job. And I'd go back to the college area and play in a home game once a week, $20 buy-in or so. And they told me about a new poker site that had just opened up. Pokergo was called. They're like, it's super soft. I signed up for it, and all of a sudden I'd been winning a little bit, but all of a sudden when I signed up there, I started immediately just crushing it, and quit my job very quickly. And the rest kind of history. I was doing fantastic there, just like from the beginning.
How long you been playing poker now?
I've been playing. So that was happening in 2004. So 20 years seriously. November 2004 is when I quit my job. So just crossed the 20-year anniversary. You know, I'd played here and there beforehand, but from that like serious kind of play.
You know, to do what you're doing right now, I mean, I know I love what I'm doing. It could be playing, it could be dealing, it could be doing what we're doing right now. It's got to take a lot of love for you to just stay focused doing poker and the way you do, because I believe if you didn't love it, you wouldn't be into it as much as you are, right?
Love is a strong word. So I'm good at it. That's what really helps a lot. I don't have another way that I can see to make a living. So it's got its ups and downs. You know, when you're winning, of course, everyone loves that. But it's no one likes the losing. And a tournament player is a game of losing. It's not like cash game players. Maybe they can win more than 50% of the time. Like us tournament players, we're losing 80% of the time. So it's not always love. I do enjoy it more than I don't. And I love I do love the competition, the competitive aspect of it. That's fun. And poker is great because it doesn't make a difference who your parents are, who you know, how you look, what your religion, race, all that stuff just doesn't make a difference at all. It's just kind of a meritocracy with a fair amount of luck built in it. So yeah, so like I really enjoy that part, that not having to, oh, okay, that's like the boss's like daughter, you got to be nice to her, or that's
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. The politics aspect of it, I guess, is not. And of course, like I try and be nice to everyone, but just not having to like go out of my way to not like to not make a problem with that person. Or I was never like I couldn't get a good job out of college. I wasn't a great interview. I was not like super professional, and just like I was good at sitting in a basement and playing online poker.
Well, I just love everything I do. One of my goals is, I mean, when I deal at work, I do like play by play, and that's why I think they fell in love with me. It's like, you watch it on TV, and the announcers are behind the wall there, but I'm right there in front of them, and I'm
Doing
calling,
play-by-play,
and
wow.
they love it. So I'm hoping to do that someday.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, even if it's like, let's say, the World Series of Poker on one of my days off because I'm full time at Aria.
Yep.
They say, hey, let's bring Clyde in on one of his days off and do some commentary for us. It almost happened kind of last year.
Yep.
But I'd love to see it happen once. I think the people in the poker community would love it. I really, because
agree.
they love it at my work.
Yeah.
And I'd sit down at the table, and the first thing they say, "Hey, we're ready for a snack, Clyde. We're ready for a snack." So, they call me the snack man. And you know how that got started was I'd push a small pot and I call it a snack, and it just took off from there.
Oh, nice.
And that's why you're in the snack attacks
I
there.
was
And you're
wondering
going to end
that.
up getting a snack before it's all said and done. You're doing a wonderful job right now. You don't play that much live cash then?
Not that much. Probably 95% tournaments.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here and there.
Now, for the poker players today, there's a lot of younger players. First of all, everyone plays so much better today than years ago when I was playing. It's a tough out. I mean, certain places, they've learned how to play. Now, would you say to somebody that's wanting to do what you do, which is travel the WSOP circuit event, you got any information that can help them if they want to do this?
So it's pretty tough to travel around and play low stake tournaments and make enough to justify doing that. Very tough. That's one of the reasons why I don't have a home base, was to cut down on the fixed expenses. I don't have rent. I haven't paid rent or mortgage since 2012. So part of the reason initially, especially, was because I was paying rent and then traveling 2-3 weeks a month, and so it just didn't make sense to have both. But for most quote unquote normal people, they're not willing to give up entirely a base, so it makes it very expensive to have double expenses, and you just can't win very much in the long run at low stakes tournaments. If you have a 20-25% return on a $400 tournament, that means you're making $100 per tournament, which is pretty damn good if you're overcoming the rake and everything. But you gotta stay somewhere. You gotta eat. You gotta maybe rent a car or Ubers or whatever. So it's not such a fun answer, but in general, it's more like I would recommend, like, keep your job. Most of the good tournaments are on the weekends, so you can play the tournaments on the weekend. Basically, in all parts of the country now, there are tournaments. Maybe like 20, 30 years ago, it was like, Vegas, Atlantic City, maybe like Tunica and like Foxwoods kind of thing. But now it's everywhere. Like, throughout the Midwest, there are places. Throughout the South, there are places. Texas is booming. So you don't have to do like the full on, like, the Wednesday tournaments aren't even that good anyway. They're like, they're not getting turnouts. They're not getting anything. So it's like the weekend tournaments are where it's at. There's a lot of variance because they get huge fields. So, but it's a lot easier to play when you don't need to pay your food bill with the money that week,
Right.
and you're gonna be a better player if you don't quit the job, and if you just kind of play on the weekends and maybe take a day off here or there. You can call in sick, lie. I love to lie.
Well, I want to tell you, before I got you on the show, I did a little homework on you.
All right.
I like I said, I've known you for at least 3 years now. But when I went to Hendon Mob and checked out your status, I was wild. And I want to tell you why I was wild. You've won according to them, you won $8.8 million.
I'm lucky they don't keep track of the buy-ins.
Okay, I understand. But what I'm getting at is you're playing the circuit events. They're the smaller buy-ins. And you've won that much money. I think that's amazing, for one. You've also, the cashes. I mean, you're right. The variance is big, but you seem to do really well. What was your biggest cash you ever made, whether it's in tournament or live or on the circuit event or at the World Series? What's the best you ever did?
So the best one I ever had was in Australia. It was a series called Aussie Millions. Right now it's not being run. There's some talk that it may come back. It was a 10,000 Australian dollar buy-in, which at the time was around $7,000 US dollars. And I won in US dollars like around $1.1 million. So that was a great tournament, of course, for me. And I do play a lot of WSOP circuit events, but I'm not like exclusive to them. And throughout the years, I always try and play different brands, different buy-in levels, some bigger buy-ins, some smaller buy-ins. So like that gross cash number, there's a lot of big buy-ins in there too. It's a whole mix-up of bigger buy-ins, smaller buy-ins. But Australia, I'll always love Australia. I actually lived there as a child for 7 years. And, my oldest friends in the world live in Australia. And my cousin just got married in Australia. I went to stay at my friend's house there, who's like my oldest friend. We've been friends since we were 3 years old.
Wow.
He's now married with kids and all that. And I'm like, guys, I've been friends with your dad since, like 37 years. And they're like, oh, wow, you're so old.
You just said a word there, okay? I know you got 18 rings, all right? But you got a wedding ring? Are you married?
No wedding ring, no.
Oh, he's single, ladies. You heard it right there. Hey, welcome to the stud club. I'm single too. Of course, the whole world knows that by now. What is your most favorite place to go to play, whether you win or not? What's your most?
So it's hard to separate the whether you win or not. That's definitely biased. I always did like the Australia trip because it was in January. Most of America is freezing. It's the summer there. I got to see the old friends, and I did well in the poker. So the whole combination, I won that big tournament in 2016, and I went 17, 18, 19, 20. I went back each year, and I think each year was profitable, which is very crazy. In any 2-week trip, it's very unlikely that it's going to be profitable, even as a good player. So somehow it worked out really well. I always like going to a lot of the EPT stops in Europe, but Barcelona is great. Prague is great.
Man, I've never been to them places myself.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm a horrible tourist, though. So, like, all my friends and family kind of, give me a little bit of a, because I don't go see stuff. When I say it's great, I just kind of like the poker. Barcelona is like, the casino is on the beach. So like in your 15-minute break, you could go walking around and like walk on the beach. So it's nice, and it's in August. It's summer. So that was.
I've never got to try. I mean, I'm getting up there, but your age is only what you want to make it to be. But everybody's got a bucket list when you get my age.
Yep.
And that's one of them. Yep. I mean, I've never been on a cruise. I would love to go play in Barcelona in a big event like that.
Yep.
I could see it happening. I just haven't gotten that big cash to put me over the
right.
hump.
Yeah.
So and like I said, I just love my job. I'm at Aria.
Yeah, no, it's hard. They're the best. So.
I noticed when you're talking here, I'm assuming that you're solo. You don't even have a buddy that goes with you from place to place. Am I right?
That's right. Yeah. I am solo. I do have, a large network of friends, and a smaller network of close friends. So it's, there's always like I'm going from tournament stop to tournament stop. There's people I know at every stop.
Oh, okay, that makes it better. Yeah.
But I don't actually travel with any one person. But also I feel like the talk with like Barcelona and Australia, it gives off the wrong impression of what actually is going on. Like most of the stops I go, there was a circuit stop in Philadelphia area, and the casino is across the road from a jail. And like in the parking lot, like you can see into the jail, and they can see into, that's more. That's kind of more of the normal bread and butter places. Are not like glamorous. It's not like super. Oh, we're going to like Prague or whatever. It's more like we're going to Council Bluffs, Iowa. And not that there's anything wrong with Council Bluffs. I do enjoy my time there too. But yeah, a lot of the when I give the 5 minute like talk, like I'm a poker player, I travel around, people have a very different impression than the actual life that I live, which is not very glamorous. It's not. It's great. It's fine. It's like very good for me, but it's not some like Monte Carlo TV James Bond thing, which a lot of people may think. Yeah, as you know, I mean, you're like super involved in the poker industry. You know the way it is. Like even the
Yeah.
big time players, they have these huge numbers, huge. But at the end of the year, a lot of them are not. There's a lot of swings.
When you start um, adding the entries and all the money you put in the tournament, there's only what 15% are going to be winning players, something like that.
Right, in each tournament, it's 15%. But in the long run, it may even be more. I mean, the
Right.
casinos need to charge their rake in order to run the tournaments, of course. So the average player has to be losing because they're taking out, somewhere between 5 and 25%, depending on, the smaller buy-ins have a higher percentage being taken out.
I personally think. I mean, I've been playing lately, and I noticed I really believe players today are way better than years back because the books, the videos. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think so. But I also remember people saying that when I was starting 20 years ago, how players were better then than they had been 20 years prior to that. I think with these kind of competitive endeavors, I think the same is true as in sports. Even as the education gets out there, and in sports, it's like, what do you eat? How do you work out? Stuff like that.
That's the
And
next.
for us, it's not as much. Although there's some of that. There's some like Jason Coons or Alex Foxons that really treat their physical health very, very seriously. But there's at least like the stereotype, when I was getting in was like very overweight, smoking cigarette, kind of thing, at the poker, and it wasn't much. By the time I got in, you couldn't smoke at the tables, but I don't think it was very much prior to that you could. So yeah, but when it comes to the education stuff, I mean, even when I was starting and I was playing online poker. In online, there's no shuffling and dealing. No offense, I mean,
I know.
but it's the time it takes, even for a great dealer, to shuffle up. Even if there's a help with the automatic shuffler, it just electronically it happens in a second. So there's no misdeals. There's no you just click fold. Everything is right away. So yeah, I was able to see so many more hands.
Do you enjoy online?
I love online.
You
yeah.
love online.
Yeah, I like both, but and I like going back and forth.
Do you like online more than live?
It depends. The issue now is, so, if you'd asked me the question 15 years ago, I would have a different answer. Nowadays, some of the technology that people use when it comes to bad behavior is getting to a place where, I worry about the future of online. And even when I play online, I have concerns that, because it's not that hard to cheat, break terms of services.
That's why I don't play online.
Yeah, whatever it is. People always used to say that. And I would say, okay, like I went from minus six figures to owning a home and living all through online poker. So I'm like the operators of those sites, they don't know me. I was
Yeah.
just
How are you able to play online if you don't have a home base? Don't you have to have a home base to play online?
You don't even, and I play mainly on regulated legal sites.
Okay.
You just have to be in the state. So like Nevada has their thing, Pennsylvania. I'll go for like 3-4 days to Pennsylvania or Michigan or Jersey.
Oh, you
and
got to
I
be in the
just-
state
you
to do
have
it
to
then?
be
See, I don't
physically
know
in the
that.
state,
Okay.
yeah.
That's good information out there for those who don't know. And I want to tell you, I mean, like I said, I follow poker pretty much, but a lot of people get started with the online play. I mean, I played it. Just don't trust it, but that's me. But a lot of players get started
Well, that's
with
really
the online thing, and they seem to make money, and then they end up going live, playing live then.
so the beautiful thing of online is you can actually play for 1 penny. You can
Yeah,
play for
you can.
tiny, and in person you can't. Even
Right.
like the lowest games they run is like, most players are no limit players. The lowest game is 1-2 no limit.
Yeah.
That's huge.
That's it. Yeah.
You're buying in for like a small buy-in might be $100. That's a lot when you're learning out to like be risking $100. In online you can play for like 1 cent, 2 cent. And you can be, and people are really serious. There's also a lot of free roll stuff where people are not so serious, but as it gets deeper into the free roll tournaments, people get more serious. Even if it's, the thing is, if there is some amount to win, it doesn't make a difference if it's $2 or whatever. People want to win. If they're playing it, they want to win it. So it's like if you're playing a cash game where the buy-in is like $5, people are going to treat it to some level seriously. They may not treat, and so that's like an amazing way to learn for very, very cheap.
Well, when I play, I'm not a rich man yet.
Yeah.
I mean, I think my day's coming for a big cash, but I play like it's my last dollar. I do not re-enter tournaments. If I get knocked out, I figure, well, I'm running bad. I'm not going to re-enter. It's just, and it has nothing to do with what my bankroll is. I mean, I could re-enter, but I'm not rich. But I'm just saying, if I really wanted to re-enter, I could. But I just don't. I think if it's not my day, not my day. So I take the game seriously. Oh, is that the phone going off? Oh, it's the bat phone. I don't know if you ever watch Batman, but Commissioner Gordon's calling. Yeah, I'm Batman. I'm busy right now. You have to deal with the penguin by himself, okay? Yeah, thanks for the call out. All right, we got that earlier. The old red bat. I don't know if you ever watched the Batman series. I always wanted, I can't believe we got a red phone. I had to buy one for my house now. I don't think anybody has a rotary phone no more. It's all cell phone.
Yeah, you don't see them too often. That's good stuff.
But I just hit my mind looking at that red phone. I thought about Batman. Back in the 1960s, there was Adam West and Burt Ward was Batman and Robin. But I just thought that was funny for a second. But that's how my mind is. My mind's not right. But back to what I was saying. I mean, seriously, I play every tournament like it's my last. And I'm hoping to win one to where I could buy a home. I'm 60 years old, actually 62, and I've never gotten to buy a house yet. And that's one thing I like to do. I think it's going to be coming sooner or later. I mean, I thought it should have already came. I played the main event in 2017, and I was kicking ass. And it's the first time I ever played the main event. And I got 3 outed on a river in a huge pot. The pot was gigantic. It was like $800,000 pot. Blinds were 5 and 10,000, I think, at the time.
Oh wow!
And
what day was that on?
It was on day 4.
Oh, so in the money already?
Yeah, already in the money.
Okay,
Yeah, already in the money.
Huge pot.
I finished 610th out of lots of players, but it's the way I went out that was a killer. I had King Queen of Hearts. Young guy kept trying to steal my big blind every time raising. Every time it got folded around to him, and I was in the big blind. I mean, that's my concentration level when I'm playing.
Yeah.
I'm watching every little thing, believe me. I am not just on my phone and messing around. Like I said, I play it like in my last dollar. Well, he kept raising me. Finally, I look down. I see king, queen of hearts. I'm thinking, you know what? Oh my God, I'm gonna get him here. I know he ain't got shit. I just know it. He's doing. He ain't gonna have a hand every time I'm in the big blind. So I call him. I first of all, I think I raised. Yeah, he raised. I called. The flop came and a king. A king came on board. I got king queen. I'm like, I definitely ain't going nowhere. So to try to block him, I think you know what a blocking bet is. I bet into the razor.
Okay.
I bet into him. I bet 20,000, and the guy shoved all in on me. He shoved all in on me.
Wow.
And I'm like, no way. I don't think. Man, I know this is the main event, but why so much? And you know what? When you're around the game a lot, I know you might not. I don't know if you're going to agree with this, but 80%, if not higher, they're bluffing when they overbet. They don't want you to call. So I dug deep and I made the call. We flipped our hands over. I had king, queen of hearts, and he had king, six of clubs. So he did have a king. But my queen kicker was going to play no matter what because the other two cards on board weren't that big.
Yeah, wow.
So I'm like, oh my God, I really might go to the next day on this main event.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
River comes six of diamonds. It just killed me. It knocked me down to 200,000 at chips. He's got like 1 point something million now. And I hung in there and watched him give away all them damn chips. I outlasted him.
Oh man.
And that was that's one thing I won't ever forget.
Yeah.
And I had another tournament last year. The year before last, I was playing the World Poker Tour like you, and I was playing the Omaha High-Low, and I had the victory right in my hand. And I got heads up with Alan Kessler, and I had him beat like 4 times. We played till like 3:30 in the morning, and ended up getting second. So, but that's two of the tournaments that I feel that could have changed my life if I win them. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And unfortunately, it didn't happen. But
yeah, the main event is crazy. I had a really bad streak going there. My first 12 or 13 times, no cashing.
Wow.
Yeah. So it always was. And then the last couple of years, I've done much better. But still, for whatever reason. I was a young, very aggressive kid and didn't have the patience. Potentially, but also I don't really know. I never knew why. Like it wasn't even just the main event. It was the World Series. It was the summer in Vegas. I didn't do well at all. I was doing really well the rest of the year, and then I didn't get a top 9 at the World Series until 2019. And my first year going was 2005. Most of the years at the beginning I wasn't playing very much, but still it was. I hired a like mental game coach. I was like, what is it? The hot weather, the desert. I was like, what's going on? It was like eating me up alive. Like, well, why can't I do anything in Vegas in the summer?
How I feel.
Yeah. So, but that's what it does to you. The streaks, you can always like look back and find streaks. And it's like on Tuesdays in May, I never did anything, like you just look back and find whatever you want. That the human brain like looks for these, kind of weird patterns, and then it's like, okay, well, I guess I'm not going to play Tuesday. When in reality, it's just kind of the way it goes. Most of the time, there's no rhyme or reason. It's just like, and you hope the good things happen, and if you play enough and you're a good enough player, usually they will. But the game has a lot of swings in it, and usually there's no magic one bullet. Some people are like, that one score, like if it hits, and then it hits, and then you end up playing bigger, and then the next thing you know, for a lot of them, it's like it was nice, but it wasn't quite like what they were hoping. So, you've seen all the stories of the people hitting the big score and then blowing it the same day at the casino or over time. So there's a lot of it. You got to be quite disciplined, and
I will tell you what I've done. I would say last couple of years, it's helped my game out. I've taken so many beatings. I have learned to just go with it, believe it or not. I used to dwell on it.
Yeah.
And I ain't saying I'm cashing in every tournament I enter, but I'm going deep in every. I mean, for a couple reasons, I can fold. If you can't fold, you're going to be in trouble. Okay. And you got to have your read on to make the call right. But I've noticed is if I don't get too damn pissed off and take it to the next tournament, that I'm okay with it now. Especially recently, trying to heal up from this quadruple heart surgery I've gotten. I can't get too excited now. I got to wait till I get healed up all the way. But I've learned that if I just stay within myself and say my day's coming, I believe it's going to come. And all you could do is just play and let the cards melee.
That's a good attitude. Yeah.
And I'm telling you, since I put that mindset in my head, and
has it been tough, like playing since the health issues?
Well, when I first came back, I played in a tournament at the Aria, and it took everything out of me. Yeah. Believe it or not, it takes a lot of energy to sit there for hours.
Yeah.
Now I played for I think 11 hours. I just missed the money, but the next day, I mean, I couldn't. Honest to God, believe it or not, I was like, "Holy shit, what happened?" Yeah. I mean, luckily I was off work on because of my surgery. I wasn't going back to work yet, but I'm like, man, this is just sitting here, playing. What the hell? So I'm sure there's other people out there that's been through the same thing I'm going through. And like I said, I keep talking. I go see my heart doctor all the time.
Yep.
And he keeps saying, Clyde, damn, relax, man. He goes, you're trying to heal up in 7 months when it takes a year to 2 years to heal up.
Yep.
He goes, don't worry about it. I go, but listen, I have trouble breathing sometimes. I'm winded. I mean, I sometimes hurt, sometimes I don't hurt. Some days I feel like I got all the energy in the world. There's other days like, ugh. He goes, Clyde, I mean, you had a serious operation here. You got to relax. So I'm trying to do that. That's another thing I'm trying to do is to get my health right. So I've changed my diet. Speaking of that, I'm sure you got to have a certain diet to be running around all around the world. You can't be eating hamburgers and fries every day, right?
Right. I mean, there's definitely people that do, and I try and be health conscious. In my 20s, I was particularly not health conscious, and I was playing online. I wasn't traveling, but I did not live a healthy lifestyle at all. I'm glad I haven't had a cigarette now in 15 years or whatever. But throughout those days, I was almost chain smoking. Wow. And just not healthy at all. And throughout the years, I've done different levels of seriousness. I had a weight loss bet earlier this year, and it went real well. Leading up to the World Series of Poker, and then kind of since then, just
I can see it in your face. That's why I'm smiling. You're like, I'm lying right now a little bit, but
So it just it basically I'm I don't know if I'm back to where I was beforehand, but most of what I lost is back. So there's a lot of ups and downs. In theory, I'd like to wake up and go to the gym and have a healthy breakfast and not have bad snacks and all that. And then you bust out of the tournament and the ice cream stand kind of looks a little tempting.
Right for him.
So ups and downs. My friends are good motivators for me. We try and help each other, so that's good. But it's a struggle. It's a struggle to.
When you mentioned ice cream, you know who else likes ice cream?
Who's that?
ScoobyDoo. Yeah, he likes ice cream. Whoop. He loves that. He likes anything. Scooby does it. I remember when
you got a good impersonation of it. Wow.
Well, you know what Scooby Doo says when Shaggy goes, Scooby Doo, where are you?
No.
I'm over here, Froggy. I'm over here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good
I
stuff.
love you.
That's good stuff.
But hey, you know what? Here's another thing I wanted to ask you. The traveling part. You're going all over the world. I mean, that's a lot of flying.
Yeah.
Do you have a special airline you fly with, or do you get comps and stuff for as much as you fly around?
No special airline. Try and be conscious of the cost and value,
Right.
and stuff like that. Between credit cards and flying, I do get a fair amount of miles and try to use them when it's smart, and then
Okay.
pay cash when it's smart. Um, so yeah, I've throughout the years, I've gotten better when it comes to booking stuff. There was a time I haven't been doing this so much recently, but there was a time where with Southwest you could book a bunch of tickets, and then as long as you cancel them before the flight, you get the credit and you can use them for others. So like a big part with tournaments when you're
Okay.
traveling is like you don't know when you'll get out. And let's say like it's one of these main events that take 4 or 5 days. Um, you hate where like you bust on day 2 and then your flight's on day 4, and like you're just
Yeah.
hanging out there where everyone else is in the tournament. You don't want to be there anymore. You just want to get out. And I've had friends that have just like booked the last second ticket, and I've done it too sometimes, and paid way too much just to get out because you just want to leave. So like sometimes I'd book on tickets on like day 2, 3, and 4, just so like each day I'd be covered. Um, but yeah, there's I don't know. I'm actually like kind of scared of heights. And so
Oh God.
the fact that I'm on planes all the time, I've gotten a lot better over time about how I feel on the planes. But I kind of have a routine. I have the noise canceling headphones. I have the eye mask. I just like get on.
Yeah,
And
I wear sunglasses because of the brights. Yeah,
okay, yeah,
and I usually fly at night. It's cheaper, um, and everyone's got the lights on. And if you want to rest before you land,
yeah.
so I always wear sunglasses.
Yeah, I'm a very
myself.
good sleeper, so I do have
Oh,
that. I can sleep on planes. I can sleep everywhere. This is so comfortable. I can almost sleep here.
do you snore on planes? Do you snore at all?
I think I do a little bit. Yeah,
I don't know if I do or don't. I can't remember.
yeah,
I'm still a bachelor like you.
yeah,
So.
exactly. Yeah,
But poker has changed my life so much that, especially in the last 4 years, and the reason I'm saying this is that I got hired in at the Aria. Now, before that, I was at Sam's Town for almost 10 years, and I was at Terribles when I first started out in Vegas. Of course, then there was Ohio when I ran tournaments. I dealt there. I learned how to deal. But when I was a real professional is when I came out here in 2008. But when I got hired in at Aria, it was just amazing to me because I worked at other places to deal, and they were not run like this place.
oh yeah. Paul
Oh my
does.
God.
I played a fair
Oh
amount with Paul
my.
Campbell, and I always enjoy having him on the table, just like you.
Yeah.
We joke around, but then it's kind of interesting because he's a completely different person
You're right.
when he's running it, and you guys have. I mean, because I don't play cash so much. I haven't played so much at Aria because like they don't run very many mixed game tournaments, at least in the binds that
Right.
I would play. And I went there in the last couple of weeks, and I was like, oh my God, this is I forgot how nice it is here. And
Beautiful.
yeah, no, it's great.
It's not just Paul Campbell, which is amazing.
Yeah, the team is.
He is amazing.
Yep.
It's the way the whole room is run.
Yep.
And of course, I've seen you've cashed over in the Pokergo Studio too. Seen some of those. But anyhow, and the Pokergo Studio is amazing.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I wish the tables were smaller because I'd love to deal some final tables, but I've got the shortest damn arms in the damn world to be able to do it. But dealing to those poker pros over there, where the buy-ins are anywhere from 5,000 to 25 to even 50,000. when I'm dealing over there. As I'm dealing to these players, you know how much I'm learning by watching and dealing this?
Yeah.
And I think that's helped my game too.
It has
Just
to,
by doing that.
Yeah.
And right now we have our series going on at the Aria. And once again, to me, Paul's top notch. Love the guy.
Yep.
I told him that you were coming on the show, and he goes, "Oh, really? Oh my God!" So he was all happy about it. But the way he runs the tournament, he's so serious.
Yep.
I love that about Paul. I mean, seriously, he takes his job to heart like I do.
Yep.
If it looks like we're not going to make the guarantee, you could see it's bothering him.
Yeah.
And then when we're going to make it easy, he's happy as hell. He's walking around smiling. But I love Paul Campbell. And like I said, the job at Aria, that when I got there, I mean, I just couldn't believe it. I was like, what, a kid in a candy store.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not kidding.
No, I know. It's the best.
And you worked at other places.
Yeah.
All right. Now,
you guys and Win just are a notch above everyone else. I think Venetian is very good too, but I think they're a little bit below. But when it comes to the dealer and floor quality, when it comes to the comfort of playing, when it comes to just a well-rounded, even food options, it's just a pleasure. And then all us poker players, we go to the World Series events, and it's just such a lower level of
That's
quality.
why they come to our place and play.
Yeah.
I want to also mention Ryan Peters, one of our floor guys.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you something. Like I said, I've been in this for a while. I worked at other, places dealing poker. The way that man handles an argument or a fight or it's amazing how he keeps it so calm, doesn't blow his whistle. I'm telling you, the way it's run is unreal.
Yeah, the
and he's got it down.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're ready to fight, and he can still calm it down. It's happened, I think, 4 times now since I've been there. I've watched him at his job doing that, and it just amazes me how he's able to keep it to where ends up being a fist fight.
You talk about watching the top poker pros and learning from them. When you see a floor guy like that who's able to de-escalate it, that's like
it's because other places they end up duking. Hey, when I worked at Sam's Town, there was actual fights in the room.
Okay, yeah.
I'm serious.
Oh no,
I'm not joking. I mean real fights too.
Yeah. And I've seen many different ways that the floor staff tries to handle things, and it's interesting and definitely something you can learn from the different ways they go about it. It's good stuff.
I tell you, it's changed my life so much. I thank God every day. I don't know if you believe in God, but I do, and I think there's the reason why He didn't take me when He had. The chance. But it's like I got a second life now, and I'm starting to love it.
Yeah, well, we're all very happy
take over for
you.
a second. So
No. I mean, it's unbelievable to go through what you've gone through. It's and now you're just out here, just still coming to the tournament, still working, starting a new project. It's a beautiful thing, and you just never know. You gotta, I thank God I haven't had any, huge life, scare like that. When I went in,
when this happened to me, I had no clue it was going to happen.
Yep.
I just told my boss for a whole month. I kept saying, I got this heartburn, it won't go away. But when they asked me if I ever smoked and stuff like that, never smoked.
Yeah.
Never smoked. And so I was like, what? And the reason I never smoked is my mom smoked, and she coughed and choked all the time. And when I was growing up as a child, I'm like, man, I ain't never going to do that. I don't want to be coughing my whole life. And here I am, I have a quadruple heart surgery and never smoked. They're like, you never smoked? I go, no. So they almost couldn't believe it. But one thing else I want to say about that, I know this mostly, about your career, but you'd be amazed at how many poker pros came in the hospital and see me.
Yeah.
I mean, it was very touching.
You're really everyone, you hate to talk good to the person that you're doing this, but everyone. I mean, I was telling a friend that I was coming here and we were gonna have this conversation. It's like, yeah, everyone loves Clyde. I
All
mean,
right,
you
who was
really
it? I probably know who it is.
Nick Guagenti.
Great
Yeah.
guy.
Yes. Yes.
I
Yeah.
talked to that
Yeah.
guy at the
Yeah.
Aria a million times.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he
Yeah,
is.
guy has got a
Yeah.
big heart. And you know what?
Yes, he does.
I wish him the best in success and play.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone that's good to people. I mean, when I look at people that I know in the poker scene, the nice guys that treat people with respect, I mean, I always root for them. I mean, I
Yeah.
just do because I know they're good people.
Yep.
And like I said, I'm around this every day at the Aria.
Yep.
We have 1 or 2 big games going. And during the World Series, and right now we have more than that. We have like 5 or 6 going.
Yep.
25 pot limit Omaha. In the big room, the stakes are big. But there's probably every poker pro that's got a resume. I probably dealt to him now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I only got to deal with Doyle Brunson one time before he passed. But it was amazing. It was amazing how smart that man was. I mean, he's letting everybody know what they're holding while I'm dealing. I'm like, wow, it's amazing.
Yeah.
But like I said, the Aria has changed my life.
Yep.
And I think I'm a tough out now because I learned from dealing from him. And I've told him this before. I could go tomorrow and win $1 million.
Yep.
I'm not kidding you. And I'm not quitting my job.
That's smart.
Love it.
Really
It's not like a job to me.
Yeah.
And that $1 million would buy the house I want.
Yeah.
So I was back down to being whatever.
Yep.
So that's how big me getting hired into the Aria has changed my life.
Yeah. And
you ever had something that changed your life completely? It doesn't have to be about poker, but it's changed your life. I mean, when my father died, that killed me.
Yeah.
I love my dad. My dad was great. My dad worked hard. We had all these brothers and sisters of mine. So I was kind of like him. I've worked from day one. I was a teenager working in a pizza shop just to get clothes on me to go to school because dad had to support all of his kids. And, he worked at Goodyear Aerospace and $10 an hour back then,
Yeah.
So is there anything that might have changed your life? It
so
could
I've
be,
had these,
yeah.
So I was saying like, you having this like extreme health situation and coming back and fearing for your life. It sounds like, that I can only imagine what kind of impact that has now, where you might view things so differently than you did before. So like it's not the same when it happens to me, but I've had like my mom got cancer when I was 13, and thank God, it's now 35 years later. Wait, my math's a little off, but yeah, whatever. More than 30 years later. Yeah, and
I understand.
And she's doing well and all that, but that's to have that kind of scary thing, young in life, and I had a close friend this past year who died from cancer at my age. Justin Brown. He was a poker player, and these kind of things. Obviously, life is really fragile, and it sucks to like have these kind of things, and you kind of you question God. Why did the bad
Dude,
things
I'm
happen?
loving you.
Yeah.
I see it.
Yeah.
I'm loving you right now.
Yeah. So
You got heart, buddy.
Yeah.
You got heart.
Yeah.
That's what I like about, they think every poker player is all about the money, but it ain't with me.
Yeah.
It's about how you treat people, about how you care about people. And I've seen you start to tear up.
Yeah.
And that's why I love you, brother.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
What's your favorite game to play here?
My traditional answer, and it's true, is I like every game when it's two people at the table. When a third person comes to the table, I like a little less. When it's a full table, I like it even less. I like playing. I don't like folding. I like the short-handed play. The actual answer to the question is probably like the ones that I've liked most is like during COVID time, I was playing a ton of heads up PL08 online. Heads up, three-handed, just short-handed. So I really enjoy that. Again, like the not folding is great. But kind of all the '08 varieties, but I really do like playing also the mix, just like having a whole bunch of different
Right.
games. And of course, we all have our weak games and our better games, but I feel pretty comfortable in most of them. I try and fake it in the ones where I'm not as good. But yeah, I like that.
I think we're going to hook up and be against each other this Saturday. Are you playing in WPT World Championship Omaha High Low?
Yeah, yeah,
I'm going to be there too, brother. I took off work to play, and that's my favorite game.
yeah. I hope we can make a deep run together.
Yeah, we'll be. Hey, what's up over there?
Yeah, yeah.
Is there anything you might want to ask me, bud? I mean, I've been doing all the questions. Anything
Yeah,
you want to ask me?
yeah. A lot of the questions I've had have been kind of, we've been discussing, and the answers have kind of come up. But let's see. I mean, what was your first exposures to poker?
Okay, that would be when I was 12 years old.
Yeah,
By the way, that's 50 years ago. My dad used to have friends come over from work and play penny ante back then. Penny, nickel, dime, 7-card stud. And Dad would put me in the game because I was pretty good. Now, remember, I'm only 12.
yeah,
I was only 12, but I remember those days.
yeah.
Dad would give me a buck or two, and and then the guys would say, "Hey, what the hell is this? Who's this kid?" But boy, was that a long time ago? My God! But it was fun.
So we had
That was my first taste.
I had a little taste of these. So I grew up very religious, Orthodox Jew, and after high school, it's very traditional for people in my community before they go to college, they take a gap year and go to a religious seminary in Israel. We call it yeshiva, and so I went there for a year before college, and I didn't have the like I said, like the way I learned to think strategically in poker and like a kind of serious way was in college afterwards. But we were playing some poker, and that time I remember we'd like stay up till all hours of the night, and we didn't have chips, so we would use Q-tips as our chips.
Oh,
That's what we
God.
had around, and we would just be using whatever it was. So yeah, like that's one of the nice things about poker is as long as there's some level of seriousness, it can be for the smallest of stakes. It's just a fun game to compete against friends, against not friends. Kind of almost better not being friends with the people, so you can
Yeah.
really want to be.
I normally don't talk to the people to the left or right of me
Okay, yeah,
because I know how I play,
yeah,
and I'm probably going to get involved with somebody sitting beside me than being out of position with a guy playing there, and I'm like, the button's there, and I got to have a pretty good hand. I don't play stupid like that, but when I'm dealing poker, I've had so much fun dealing poker than I think anyone can imagine. I'm going to tell you a couple stories here real quick
Yeah.
because I know we're going to be running out of time here soon. But one story is I was dealing in a tournament, and I do like play-by-play, which I just love doing it. And the players love it. The players love it too. So anyhow, one hand, guy from seat 2 raises it over to seat 6, and he re-raised it. And then he got back to seat 2, and he goes, "I'm all in." All right?
yeah,
Now I'm doing the commentating about, he's got re-raised, now he's all in, back over there. That's what I do, and they love when I do. Now I go, "In back to 6 now." And he's sitting there, he's thinking, and he looks at me and he goes, "Hey, Clyde." He goes, "Should I go all in?" And I really can't say yeah or no. I'm dealing, I can't do it. But something hit this wacko brain of mine, and I go, "Well, the last time you went all in and said I do, how did that pan out for you?" The whole table laughed. He folded so fast. And that was probably 3 years ago, and I still remember. That's how funny it was.
Yeah,
I don't know what made me think that. I go, "Well, the last time you said I do, how did that pan out for you?" Hey, so that's just one of the many funny, that's why I love my job. Right?
Yep,
There's
yep.
one example. And I've got plenty others that I think I'm going to use for another broadcast. There's something else, but yeah, it's great that when you go on to work and it's not really work.
yeah. I mean, that's the goal.
mean-
How many people are or stuck, 8 hours of a day doing something that they
doing it
don't.
because they have to, because they got to pay their bills.
Yeah,
and they don't
yeah,
really have a
exactly.
job.
And I mean, it is what it is. Sometimes that's what happens. But we're so lucky to, for me, I, and maybe it's like not the most glamour or most proud thing to say, but I haven't really taken any vacations. Like let's say I've gone to like Mexico to like quote unquote be at like a beach, whatever, and I went to the beach for an hour, and then I'm like, I want to play some online poker.
God.
Yeah, so it's like
Yeah.
because like the nice thing is I don't have to work. So like if I wake up one day and say I'm not in the mood to work, like there's no boss. I don't have to call in.
Yeah,
like
that's the great thing.
So it's like you're supposed to not show up when you're not in the mood. But most of the time, if I'm not in the mood at 10, by the time 1 or 2 comes around, I'm in the mood. Like it's like that's what I like doing. So yeah.
Like I said, I'm always in the mood for anything about poker.
Yep.
I kind of wish I had more time to play it.
Yeah.
But I love my job. But when I do play, like I told you, I pretend like it's my last tournament.
Yeah,
because I want to win. I want to win, and it's just the thrill of victory. I don't care if I'm winning $1,000 or $5,000.
Yeah.
It's just the thrill to play, and to win is what I like. And I want to go back to. I haven't mentioned much about my Snack Attack studio here, but how this came about was I had a friend at work that says, Clyde, everybody seems to like you. You need to get you a YouTube page. They talk about you on Swing Shift, and I would say, what do you mean Swing Shift? I work day shift, because that's what I'm saying. And then them dealers that deal over at the Win, they talk about you over at the Win. I go, why? I only play in tournament. But they seem to know you.
Yeah.
You need to get this going. So this is why I started the Snack Attack Studio, one of the reasons.
Yeah.
And it's taken off right now. I wish I was all the way healthy to give all that energy that I normally give.
You will be.
But eventually that's going to happen.
Yeah.
And,
there's no. It's not a marathon. So.
I mean, I appreciate you coming here today and pouring your heart out, and letting us all know about how your everyday life is, about travel, and I still think it's amazing how much you've won, considering you're doing the circuit events. The cashes to get up to 8.8 million. Golly, do you have any idea how many cashes you have? It's lots.
Yeah, it's a lot. I'm number 3 right now in the
world?
Hand Mob. Yeah, for the number of cashes, not the amount.
Right, exactly. Did you hear that, guys? This guy's number 3.
But in the last 10 years, I've for sure played more tournaments than anyone else. So like I put in a lot of volume, and that's kind of of course like number of cashes is not like. It's not the most meaningful.
I know, but to me it is, because that's the key to get cash. I mean, even if you're getting you're doubling your money.
Yeah, and also you can kind of like I do re-enter, and I do play a lot of stuff. So yeah, but again, I'm not complaining. It's just like people look at the 8.8 and and I know that that's not close to reality of what.
Exactly. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Because there's like I say, there's tournaments out there you played where you didn't cash, they don't realize.
Yeah.
I mean,
many of those. But wow, how awesome has this been? Thanks so much.
Oh, you ain't a kid, and I can't let you go without giving you a snack. You know that, don't you?
Oh yeah. Okay.
I mean, they love it when I push them a snack. I'm gonna give you a snack right now. Here we go. There you go. Here's your snack. Here you go.
Oh, nice.
Thanks for being on the show. I'm telling you, I've had a wonderful time. We had a good discussion. And anytime you want to come back on the show, you're more than welcome. I'm going to plan on doing this a lot here. And I want to thank Sunrise Podcast Network for having me. And hopefully we can do this lots of times, because you know how much I love poker, folks. Thank you very much.